Shabbat Shalom. All right, we're going to start on an upbeat. That was just so lovely. I was just starting to float away. All right, we're going to start off with Kabbalat Shabbat, and you'll find that on page 26. And if you
23.
23. Oh, I added 3. 23, page 23. And this is an energetic song, so don't let us stop you from standing up and moving and clapping your hands. Don't let us stop you. There's your hint. All right. Shabbat, el yishmereni, oti lehomeyad, benu beni, ki yishmera Shabbat, el yishmereni, oti lehomeyad, benu beni, asur asot rachi, gamil daber bo, divrei tzrachi, divrei shechorao, divrei melachi, ege betoratel, tu tekemeni. Shabbat, el yishmereni, oti leomeyad, benu beni, ki yishmera Shabbat, el yishmereni, oti leomeyad, benu beni, poem sedami, nofesh lenafshi, heni ledorishon, natan kedoshi, mofet mitet lechem, mishne beshishi, kacha bechoshishi, kacha bechoshishi, yachpil mezoni, ki yishmera Shabbat, el yishmereni, oti leomeyad, benu beni, ki yishmera Shabbat, el yishmereni, oti leomeyad, benu beni. Hayom mechubar hu, yom ta'anugim, lechem v'yeni tov, basar v'dagim, amitabelim bo, achones sogim, ki yom semechotu, ki yom semetochu, utsamecheni, ki yishmera Shabbat, el yishmereni, oti leomeyad, benu beni, ki yishmera Shabbat, el yishmereni, oti leomeyad, benu beni.
Surprise! Song is over. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you. Where have you been? I'm sorry I missed last Shabbat. But it's good to be back here, to be back with you. And welcome to this moment, and welcome to this sacred space and this sacred time. I want to say just before we begin that I would like to dedicate this Shabbat to a dear friend who passed away this week, Jackie Curran, a member of our community for many years. We always have her because this tablecloth where we have our candles that wishes us Shabbat Shalom, that's what it says on it, is always going to be with us, and so she's always going to be with us. But we hold her and her family, Celia, her sister, and their husbands and families in our hearts tonight. Celia shared with me that there will be a celebration of life ceremony at some point in the future, and we'll let everybody know when that is scheduled. So this is for Jackie tonight. And so with that, with this feeling maybe of a little bit of sadness in our heart, but also this great feeling of love we have for those who have traveled with us, those we have shared many Friday nights and high holidays and Passovers, those who have sat around at the table, those who have shared in the challah and in the kiddush with us. All of that to me is bringing up a lot of love and a lot of joy, in fact, that their memories really brings up inside of us. So I'd like us to step into this Shabbat with those kinds of energies as well. Maybe energies of gratitude for all the people we love, the people in our lives, the people who share our celebrations, meals around our table, the people who are walking with us on this healing journey all of us are on. So I invite you to step into this night with this kind of gratitude in your heart, and to transform this gratitude into the different steps that we take to move away from the week that was and into the special energies of an evening and of a day called Shabbat. And we do it with these 3 steps. The first step is to create sanctuary, to create space within and around us that says, this is now Shabbat. This is now Shabbat. The day that is about to be is a different day than the rest of the week. Whatever it is that you do to mark this special day is what we are thinking about right now, what we're inviting into our space right now. Maybe some of you for Shabbat don't watch TV, don't listen to the radio, disconnect a little bit from the world, or maybe completely from the world. I think all of us need the Shabbat of the world these weeks. So maybe invite yourself into an unplugging for the next 24 hours. Believe me, the news will still be there on Sunday morning when you turn on whatever devices you get your news from. They'll still be there. But give yourself this space. Create what is called Tchum Shabbat, the space for Shabbat to be able to meet you. Maybe tomorrow, before it gets too hot, go for a little walk in your neighborhood. When it gets too hot, find a shaded place to do a few minutes of meditation. Read a good book. Whatever you need that makes this day uniquely spiritual for you. So that's how we first step into these energies. The second step is we share of the abundance of our life with those who are more suffering than we are. And this month, actually, this Shabbat is the last time of this quarter, as the quarter is ending. And each quarter we designate a different organization that we as a community support with your donations. And this night, for the last time, we are sharing half of your gift, half of your tzedakah, with the Holocaust Center for Humanity, which I don't know if you heard, was vandalized this week, actually, by anti-Semitic graffiti and other kinds of horrible unfoldings that we are seeing in our streets these days. So maybe it is appropriate that for the last time tonight we are supporting the Holocaust Center for Humanity, whose only goal is to teach the history of the Holocaust, so that our local survivors, and there are many here in Seattle, their families and millions of other victims are not forgotten. And the center does that through education. They create events, they go into schools, they organize community programs to fight hate and educate students and teachers and the public about the dangers of intolerance, which we are seeing clearly even against the Holocaust Center, and to empower each of us to make a difference. So those of you who are here tonight, I invite you to find our tzedakah box in the back of the sanctuary. You can either donate a few of the coins you have in your pockets or bills, or there is a sign there that invites you to Venmo the money, because we're in the 21st century, and I see many of you are already making your way there. If you are participating online, please find the donate button, whether on the app or the website, and make your donation fair. And as everybody is already doing that, I'm going to ask those who are lighting candles tonight, this is our third step of 3, to welcome Shabbat, to come up and kindle our Shabbat candles. And if you're doing this, doing it at home as well, please do so now. We are on page 14, singing Shalom Aleichem. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeichen Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Every Shabbat, we invite members of our community to kindle our Shabbat candles. Is my mic? Now it should work. I don't know what happened. I turned myself off. So I was saying, every Shabbat we invite members of our community to come forward and help us light our Shabbat candles, and as they do so, they also share with us the reasons behind what is going on in their life, why they are lighting candles. We're going to start on our right, where I was standing just a moment ago. And Jim Morgan is lighting one of our Shabbat candles tonight to celebrate his milestone 65th birthday. Mazel tov, congratulations. Next to Jim, somebody's excited about that. That's good. Pat and John Hoagland are lighting our candles for their 52nd wedding anniversary. Wow, And it's also Pat's birthday. Were you married on your birthday? Maybe.
I'm celebrating my 79th.
79th. Congratulations, congratulations. Next to Pat is Susan Hoffman. And Susan is lighting our Shabbat candles tonight in gratitude for being able to celebrate her and Frank's 51st wedding anniversary. No competition. In May, and her 74th birthday last weekend. Given the challenging gifts COVID gave us, and for the kind words of support from Bet Aleph friends. Congratulations, Mazel Tov. Another birthday, Lynn Carroll, is lighting our Shabbat candles tonight for the start of her 80th trip around the sun. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Barbara Klein, next to Lynn. Barbara is lighting in memory of her late husband, Sheldon Klein, on his 14th yard site. It's been a long time. And Greg Siegler, on our left, is lighting our Shabbat candles tonight in memory of his father, Peter Siegler, on his 11th yard site. And Rabbi Olivier kindled 2 candles, one in memory of Jackie Curran, and one in celebration of his 15th ordination anniversary. That was 2 weeks ago, but for health reasons, couldn't make it. So better late than never. At home, we have also people lighting their Shabbat candles in celebration, commemoration, in honoring aspects of their life. John and Celeste Danker are lighting their Shabbat candles in honor of John's mother, Alien Mary Danker, on her 24th yard site. Pesha Klein is lighting her Shabbat candles for her mom, Anne Koloff Klein, on her 5th yard site. And of course, Celia and her sister Meryl are lighting their Shabbat candles tonight in honor of the passing of their mother, Jacqueline Ann Curran, Anna Fega in Hebrew, on Wednesday afternoon. She was surrounded by family, love, and music at home, and even in her last moments. Jackie was a creatively unique spirit who touched many lives and loved both making connections with people and connecting people to people. She will be dearly missed, but it is an honor to have known her, and her legacy lives on when people see this beautiful tablecloth that I was mentioning, that she designed for our candles. And I'm turning to you, whether you're here in this space or at home, and inviting you, as you perhaps close your eyes, to see what it is you would light candle Shabbats for tonight. Perhaps what are you lighting your Shabbat candles at home in honor or celebration of tonight? What is the light you're looking to bless in your life, in your heart? Maybe the light that you're looking to find in your heart and in your life. May it meet you now. The blessing of the Shabbat light is on page 1 of your prayer book. We cover our eyes to remind ourselves that that which we are blessing is the light awakening within each of us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. Amen. Thank you all. And as everybody find their seats again, we turn to page 5 and we rise for the Baruch Hu, the call to blessing. And we say together, Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Bless the Eternal, the one who is blessing. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Blessed is the Eternal, the one who is blessing eternally. And at the top of page 6, we continue with the 6 words of the Shema. 6 words that are the central affirmation of Jewish tradition, words that are found in the book of Deuteronomy. Join me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel, the Eternal manifests as all that is. The Eternal is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is the name. The splendor of its presence shines eternally.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael
Please be seated. At the bottom of the page, we continue with the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Ashkivinu, are we doing the Tobman or not?
Let there be love.
Let there be love. We are on page, well, for the Hebrew, we are on page 7 in the middle of the page, but the song varies from the Hebrew as well. Ashkivenu.
Help us, eternal our God, to lie down in peace and to awaken again to renewed life.
Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Let us realize the vision of your wholeness, that we may experience the salvation that is your name.
Shelter us from all that we fear. Help us see your way even through times of darkness. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace. Now and always, now and always, now and always. Blessed are you, eternal one, who shelters all of us within your being. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let there be love. V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Let there be peace. Let peace and friendship be our shelter. from all storms.
Uvros aleinu, Sukkot Shalomecha, v'tachnenu b'etzah tova milefanecha. Friendship be our shelter from a storm.
Eternal God, help us walk with our companions to live with open hearts and eternity in our souls. Let there be love.
Let us lie down in peace. Let us rise up to life and to light and to confidence. Let there be love, let there be peace, let there be light, let there be love.
Amen. It's going to be difficult, but I'm going to invite you to please rise as we turn to page 8 for the Amidah. We say together, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal One, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Adonai Sefata Tiftach Ufi Yagid V'Yagid Tehillah Tehilatecha Adonai Sefata Tiftach Ufi Yagid V'Yagid Tehillah Tehilatecha
תפתח, תפתח ופי יגיד, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי לאה ואלוהי רחל, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לפשעי עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל.
Please be seated. What's going on in the Torah these days? Well, same old. The Israelites were complaining to Moses. Same old, as usual. They were scared that they were not going to find any food in the wilderness, in the desert, now that they are seemingly condemned to stay there for a while. And so Moses had a meeting with God, and he said, hey man, the people, they're hungry. They're concerned about not having food as they are now have been in the desert for a while. So God said, no problem. Take care of that. And he sent everybody manna. Manna from heaven. Every day, as the Israelite woke up, manna would appear in the field They would go and grab whatever they needed for the day, and day after day after day, that happened. On Friday afternoon, they would get 2 portions. 2 portions, double the amount. Why? Because God rests on Saturday, so there wasn't going to be any manna on Shabbat, so you get 2 portions on Friday. By the way, it's still something we do. We bake 2 chalot on Friday as a reminder of the double portion that we were getting back in the desert as we wandered for a few years. And then the Israelite complained again. Manna is cool, but every day? The same thing every day? Like, can we have a little bit different things on the menu? The monotony of the same food will drive you crazy. And the Israelites started to fantasize about how great they had it back in Egypt. Because, barbecues every day, they could have all kinds of things to eat, foods, vegetables, meat, and now manna every day? Never ending, right? Never ending. I wrote down their complaint. In the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verses 6 and 7, they said, now our soul is dried out. It reminds me, the Jewish mother, you never call, you never mail, you never come. You don't love me. My soul is dried out. It's just like that. Now our soul is dried out. There is nothing except this manna to look at. And the manna was like coriander seed. Its appearance was as the appearance of crystal. Well, not bad for her. Now, I love that specific verse. I didn't pick it out of the Torah portion for no reason. I do that sometimes, but rarely. What I loved about this is that in these 2 short verses, we come up upon a form of the Hebrew word. Wow. The Hebrew word ayin. Ayin. And the word ayin means eye. Though I just read you the translation, at no moment I pronounced the word I in any part of the translation. Because in those 2 verses, that word ayin for eye is appearing 3 times. But the translator completely ignores it because it doesn't work in the direct interpretation. So when it says, there is nothing except this manna to look at, in Hebrew, it actually says, there is nothing except this manna, the manna to our eye. There is nothing except this manna to our eye. So there's the word eye in there. And then in the next verse, it says, its appearance was as the appearance of crystal. But in Hebrew, the literal translation would be, its eye of the coriander seed, the eye was like the eye of the crystal. Now, when there is one word repeated 3 times in 2 verses in Torah, the rabbis pay attention. There is something there that we need to keep an eye on. We need to look at. And they actually said that there is really a profound teaching underneath the mistranslation. That's why you can't trust translations. The best thing they can do is their own interpretation of what they believe the text to say. That's why when I try to look at any Hebrew text, I have 4 different translations. And then I also look online to see from other traditions what their translation can be. Because the Hebrew is much more subtle and sometimes much more direct. But you can't have its eye was like the eye of the crystal. In direct translation, it makes no sense in English. So you said its appearance was like the appearance of crystal, but it's really far from what the Hebrew is saying. And one of the teachings that I found actually comes from the rabbis who are more on the mystical side of understanding. And they said, and I quote, "That which is perceiving through the eye of every aspect of creation is the eternal oneness of being." That which is perceiving through every aspect of creation, through the eye of every aspect of creation, is the eternal one of being. And so we can see that the coriander seed's eye and the eye of the crystal and our own eye are all equally one and the same eye of the universal being, of the eternal one of being. Now, I know that I've said that many times. I use this expression often, that the one that is looking at me through your eye or through your eyes is the same one that is looking at you through my eyes, as a way to point to a deeper reality of what actually is happening. But I think I want to dwell on this a little bit tonight because of that verse specifically, because of the 3 times that word is repeated. So we can try to get really an understanding of what the text is trying to point to, that is in fact, part of our direct experience right now. Because oftentimes, you hear me say the one that is looking at me through your eyes is the same one that is looking at you through my eyes, and it sounds really nice. Like it makes a lot of sense to us. But then we go downstairs, we have a little wine and a little challah, and we forget about what actually was shared during Shabbat services. It's like it stays in the background, but it doesn't really land with us. Because if it landed with us, our lives would be completely changed. We would never leave the sanctuary the same way we came in. So I am aware that it is extremely difficult to, let's use a profound Hebrew word, to grok this. You know that Hebrew word. You have to pronounce the rush, to grok it, so you can really understand. But I want to dwell on this. Maybe we can touch it a little bit. But for that, we have to shift where we are coming from. We have to shift our understanding of where our perception of this moment right now is coming from. Because we have this understanding that the one that is looking out right now at something that is out there, like this rabbi and the ark and the thing, all the things that are in your line of vision seems to be out there. And there is a separate sense of self that seems to be doing the seeing. There is a me. If I were to ask you, so who is looking at the rabbi right now? So, well, you said, me. I am looking at the rabbi, because there is this notion that there is this entity somewhere behind these eyes that is doing the looking, that is doing the seeing. So far, so good? So far, so good. But what if I told you that actually is not reality? And that's where we get into a little bit of challenge, because we have trained ourselves to understand the organ of perception as coming from this separate sense of self. I am looking out. There is this entity between these ears, maybe behind our eyes. Some of us find the self as being in the heart. Some of us is being up here. There is this notion of the sense of who I am that is somewhat encased in this body. Now I'm gonna invite into a little bit of a modification of a Zen teaching. And the modification, the Zen teaching says this: as you practice meditating with your eyes open, imagine that you have no face. So try that right now. Whatever you're looking out at, imagine that you have no face. Now here's a slight modification. You have no face, because the face you think you have is in your imagination. You're imagining it. In your direct experience right now, you have no face. You have no direct experience of your face. You may go out in the restroom later and look in the mirror to make sure it's still there, but even as you do, you don't see your face. You never see your face. You may see a reflection out there of your face, but you never actually see your face. So imagine that in fact you have no face right now. And imagine for a moment that it's not you who is looking, but it's the one presence. You have no face. There's no self-identity. There's a field of perception that is right here, that is all-encompassing of this room, wherever you are, connecting with us online. But if you keep your eyes open and look out, imagine that it's not you looking out, that something is looking out that is not you. They're still looking. There is a knowing awareness. There is a knowing awareness that is right here, but it's not you. I mean, you could try and find the you that is doing the looking, but you will never find it. Because you can never find, or you can never see, that which is actually doing the looking. So imagine you have no face. And the one that is looking at me through your eyes, through my eyes, as me through your eyes, is the same one that is looking at you through my eyes. You have no face. No one, no separate self is looking out right now. In fact, we don't even know if there is anything out. There is just presence looking. For some of us, that's a little bit challenging because we really have this sense, this visual sense that through this perspective, there's really a sense of I that is doing the looking. Let's try to enter into the field of awareness then through a different door. And then we'll come back to the field of seeing. But let's try to do it through the field of hearing. So close your eyes, actually. Close your eyes. And just pay attention to all the sounds. And notice as soon as you close your eyes that the field of hearing, the field of listening, of shema'ing, is a 360 degrees field. You can hear what's behind, what's in the front, what's in the left, what's on the right, but it also is, you can hear anything that is above and below. There's this immense field of listening that is all around. In fact, there's really, as your eyes are closed, you can't tell if there is any boundary to this field of listening. You can't know where the field of listening might end. It might never, you don't know if it ends at all. It can go in all kinds of dimensions and directions. But it's not, you can't perceive from your direct experience any boundary in the field of listening. It's immense. And notice that everything that is heard is arising inside the field of listening. The sound of all the sounds we are hearing, maybe the bird chirping, even the sound of my voice. Notice how it's arising out of nothing, out of pure silence, and then receding into pure silence. Every sentence comes out of nothing, and at the end of each sentence, it returns into nothing. Out of silence, back into silence. There's this field of listening within which everything arises Everything appears and disappears, is born and dies, arises and passes away. It's just like little fountain jets of sounds, arising and then diving back into nothingness, just like the sound of this voice. Arising from the silence, staying a little bit in the field of listening, and then at the end of the sentence, disappearing. It's just like every thought, if you think about it. Every thought comes out of the field of knowing, arises, is known, and then disappears. No thought really lasts more than a few seconds, if that. A fraction of a second sometime. Born, here and then gone, coming out of the silence of the mind and returning into the silence of the mind. But there's always this field of listening, but no one is listening. Nobody is listening. There's just listening happening. Now let's see if we can do that with the field of seeing. Open your eyes again. And step back into that notion that you have no face. Something else. The field of seeing is here, and everything right now is arising inside the field of seeing. And the field of seeing is seeing through every eye. The eye of the coriander seed, and the eye of each of us, always and all the time. Nobody is seeing. You have no face. In fact, there is just emptiness. I mean, if you were able to point to your face with your finger, try that. Take your index finger and point it at your face or the emptiness of it. What are you pointing at? Nothing. That's the ayin. In Hebrew, it's beautiful because ayin, which is I, is also ein, which is nothing. And there is this field, this emptiness within which everything comes to arise and appear. So I don't know if that worked for you. We're going to leave it at that for tonight. But to me, that's what this verse invited me into. The notion that every part of creation is actually perceiving creation. That there is not a speck of energy anywhere in the universe that is not self-aware. A lot of physicists are now starting to claim that the entire universe is self-aware. I remember once entering into a very deep meditative state, a very profound transcendental state, dropping into a complete altered state. And I knew myself, whatever that means, to be a little speck of energy in some place of the universe looking at two planets that I had never seen before. And it was as real to me as looking at you right now. And I knew that awareness is non-local at this point. Awareness is non-local. Awareness and seeing and perceiving is non-local. It doesn't happen through your eyes only. It is happening, as the movie tells us, everywhere, all at once. There's another word there, but that's what's going on, always. And our mystics, the Kabbalists, have been trying to tell us that for hundreds of years. To start to look at our reality, just to shift our perspective a little bit, and to put the ego and to move the ego out of the way. And if you move the ego out of the way, what is doing the looking? What is doing the listening? What is doing the perceiving? What is aware, really? Moment to moment. What I'm aware of is that the air conditioning is stopped and it's getting hot in here. Thank you, Cindy. So I don't know how this worked or didn't work for you, but let's keep practicing this. We're going to keep practicing this. I'm going to invite all of us to keep entering that space of no self. What if we could apprehend our reality from the truth of that realization? And then we would call ourselves, we would call our I am, not as a separate I am, but as the universal I am. I am, and I am, and I am, all the I ams that ever are I aming, anywhere and everywhere, in every shape, in every form, speaking every language. I am, which is, interestingly enough, our next song. I don't know how that happened. Page 18. Ehyeh asher ehyeh. As the singers will continue to sing, I invite you all to step into a moment of meditation, to close your eyes. What is the voice that is saying these words, I am? What is the voice that is inviting us to realize the true I am? That each of us is I aming through their own unique being, their own unique expression of that I am. Nobody is meditating. As we observe the breath arising and passing away, coming in and going out, just like the thoughts, just like the sounds, coming in, going out. Nobody is breathing. There is just breath happening. What if I am not in charge of the breath? What if the breath simply happens? What if the thoughts simply happen? What if I am just the observer, the watcher, the witness? Nobody is breathing. Breath is simply happening right now. The body is breathing the breath, just like the body is beating the heart. I am what remains. Beyond all content arising, thoughts, emotions, desires, sensations, breath, heartbeat. I am what remains behind all of it. That pure center of awareness, of knowing awareness. I am that resting place, that field of awareness, the field of listening, the field of feeling and sensing, the field of seeing. Everything is present in my field. All the sensations arising within me, within the field. All the thoughts and the sounds and the images within the field. If I listen to the sounds deeply right now, is there any sound arising outside of the field? Is there any outside? In the field of listening, can I find a boundary beyond which sounds might arise? Or are every sound arising within the field? No outside. No outside. No sound can arise outside the field of listening. in my direct experience of this moment as it is, not as I imagine it to be, every single sound arises inside the field of listening. There is no outside. There is no out there. Everything always arises in here. To put it in a more theological way, there is nothing outside of God. Everything that ever exists, arises, expresses inside awareness, inside God. There is no outside. Can you feel this directly? Not because I said so. Can you listen for it? Is there any sound? Up, down, left, right, before you, behind you, arising outside of the field of listening. I am. I am that. I am. I am every that. There is nothing inside the field of awareness that I am not. I am the listener, the seer, the feeler, the sensor. There is no other one besides me. And it's not a matter of belief. The second commandment is not a matter of belief. It's a matter of realization, of deep knowing. There is nothing else but I am. You will have no other God beside me because there is no side. There is no outside. There is no beside. There is just I am. You are that I am. You are that I am that is awareing through this unique expression of I am that has your name. But that I am is that which is doing the looking when you open your eyes. It is that which is doing the listening right now. It is that which is feeling all the feelings, that is sensing all the sensations. There is no other I am. Ehyeh asher ehyeh. I am all the I ams. Don't let the mind tell you something else. Don't let the mind imagine a separate you. What is your direct experience right now telling you? Who is listening? Who is perceiving? What is aware? You have no face. You have no name. You are nobody. You have no name. You simply are. I am the one I am, I am. 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 It is from stepping into this kind of identity, this kind of knowing, that we can start healing. When we let go of our need of control, of manipulating, of holding on to, when we know ourselves to be the simple feeling of being, the simple presence that is seeing, that is hearing, that is embracing, that knows no boundary, then we can really relax into the flow of life. We can be in the flow. We don't have to resist anything. We can start to deeply listen to what life is whispering in our ears as to what the next step is. What is the next thing that needs doing? Not from an ego perspective of wanting to shape our life and others and the world into our imagined reality, but in deeply flowing with reality as it is unfolding, letting go into the river of life, letting life guide us. Then there can be true healing, healing of soul, healing of mind, healing of heart. There's nothing to resist. There's nothing to wish in our life to be any different than it is. And this space of healing is available to each of us when we sense into the spaciousness of the field of awareness we are. And then our heart opens and expands to embrace the entire universe. No one is outside of our heart. Nothing is outside of our heart. And that doesn't mean that we need to let go of having healthy boundaries. We still need to make sure that we are safe, mentally, physically, emotionally. But we can do that together with understanding the oneness of presence that flows through us and through every being. And we can recognize that the dis-ease of humankind comes from the forgetting of the truth of that presence that we are. The dis-ease of humanity is when we act from that separate sense of self that excludes, that hates, that rejects, that seeks to manipulate and coerce, if not eradicate, when it doesn't follow the dictate of the ego. But when we step into that healing spaciousness, then we let go of our need to coerce the world into what we wish it to be. We let the world be what it is and evolve as it is. And then healing can begin. And it is in this sacred circle of healing that we invite all of those tonight, all of those who we know are in need of such healing, physical healing, emotional healing, mental healing, healing of the soul itself. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, מי שברך אמותינו, שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך וירפא. At David Mark, Daniel Clark, Maxwell Bernard, Lynn Carroll, Lawrence Stern, Elizabeth Heath, Maggie Pisner, Ronnie Shapiro, Margaret Bergman Ness, Amy Lowe, Noah Clark, Janet Crawley, Carlos Taylor, Deborah Libes, Wendy Pender, Amy Austin, Edward Tensman, Rachel Naomi Raymond, Anne Mary Regalado, Laura Sack-Klein, Julie Wilchins, Mary Allison Castleberry, Nagy Gergis, Dev Milosh, Eliza Jeff, Katie Haybarth, Audrey Chase, Steve Doyne and Beth Doyne, Ross Kling, Wilda Verdejo, Kathy Wack and Bob Wack, Jim Halverson, Zoe Sutter, Mark Crockett, Valerie Shunke, Dan Trudeau, Stephanie Prince, Patty Morris, Billy Barnes, Fern Krasny, Darcy Donegan, Jackie Williams, Judy Cohen, Greg Kenny, Peter Lancaster, Jan Jarvis. And we name in our hearts the names of those we include tonight into the circle of healing. And I want to invite all of us to put our name as well tonight into the circle of healing, the circle of embrace, the field of awareness that holds us all. ימלא רחמים עליהם לחזקם ולרפאותם רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף. And we chant tonight one of the verses, in fact, in this week's Torah portion. It's always a blessing when the Shabbat corresponds to certain verses that we can sing together is the verse that Moses prayed in that ancient wilderness for the healing of his sister Miriam. Elna, Refanala. Holy One, please let her healing be now. We are on page 12 and we rise for the Aleinu. We say together, we are the ones given this way of praising the Holy One of all being, that we might understand and express the greatness of the One who shapes all creation. We celebrate our uniqueness and that of others, and seek to discover the wonder that we are. Therefore, we bend the knees, we bow, and we proclaim our gratitude before the ruler of all rulers, the Holy One of all being. As it is said, then we shall truly realize the Eternal One as universal being, and on that day, the unity of being shall be celebrated by all. Aleinu leshabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל ממונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום
Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad.
And we continue on page 13 with the Mourner's Kaddish as we open our hearts and minds to those we remember on this Shabbat, those who have walked with us along our path, along our journey of healing, and are continuing on their journey toward remembering who they have always been. On this Shabbat, we hold in light of memory those who have made their transition in recent days and weeks, those for whom we hold Shiva and Shloshim. Jackie Curran, Celia Curran's mother and beloved Bet Aleph member. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those who have made their transition this past year. Donna Glosser, Dan Springer, Judy Simon O'Brien, Andrew Simberek, Judith Gorlick, Hannelore Noni Ebert Cronenberg, Simone Ladroma, Robert Lester, Asher Etkin, Marilyn Coleman, Dolores Heller, David Hemmelgarn, Mike Iverson, Ruth Kalish, Debbie Levin Herman. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, happens at this time of the year. Sheldon Klein, Saul Mark, Aileen Denker, Harriet Simon, Peter E. Sigler, Griff Jones, Anne Koloff Klein, Harriet Oakley, and Murray Bernard. And as you name in your heart those you remember on this Shabbat, we join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, be'alma divera chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world. And let us say, Amen. Amen. And before we close with our concluding song, it's on page 22. It will be Hevenu Shalom Alechem, will bring peace to all of us. Just a few reminders. Tomorrow at 10:30, we'll continue exploring Maimonides' Guide of the Perplexed. We are almost halfway there after 3 years. But we only meet twice a month, so that's our only excuse. It's at 10:30 across the street in the Bet Aleph office, but you can also join us online on Zoom. Just drop me an email and I will send you the link before tomorrow morning, 10:30. Promise. We have a bat mitzvah next Saturday morning. One of our members who was almost literally born here some 13 years ago. He's having her bat mitzvah next Saturday morning. Sonia is miracle of all miracles. He's going to be standing here where I am and celebrating with us this great rite of passage for our young people. And you are all invited for every bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah actually to join us in this space in the sanctuary at 10:30 and celebrate with our families. So we hope you can be here next Saturday, 10:30 in this space. Our annual picnic is exactly a month from today. It will be Sunday, July 21st. And we started to put that in the newsletter, so you'll know what to bring and where to find us for that celebration. That's all I have. Please join us downstairs for the oneg. We'll share in a little glass of wine or juice, whatever works for you. We'll have some challah, Bezrat Hashem, God willing, and a few things to nosh upon as we mingle in community and catch up on each other's life. So please join us. And if you're here for the first time, I'd love to meet you. So please stay for another 15, 20 minutes after the service is over. Shabbat Shalom. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem.
Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem.
See you downstairs. If there are a few people who can stay behind and help us transform the space back into CSL, we appreciate your support. Thank you so much. All right, we have to figure out this air conditioning.